Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to show you how to install MySQL Workbench and MySQL Server and how we can create a local dev server to use for our projects. So previous videos I've been using XAMPP to create a local server for MySQL, and I've gotten comments asking how to use MySQL Workbench. So I want to show you guys how to do this from scratch, and I'm going to be using Node Express to show you guys how we can connect that to our dev server. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm on mysql.com and I'm going to show you how we can install this. So once you head over to mysql.com, we're going to go to downloads, and then sorry, not downloads, let's go to developer zone, and then we are going to, there is a MySQL downloads here, and then we're going to download this community server. Alright, so this community server will let us install and configure the server and then also Workbench. So I'm going to just click on this download page, and then I'm going to download, let's see here. Okay, so this is the web community, and I'm going to go ahead and download the actual installer to my desktop. And then I'm just going to say no thanks, start my download, and let that finish downloading. Okay, so I have MySQL installer installed, downloaded to my desktop. So I'm going to double click on this, and it's going to start installing. So now we have the installer here, and we're going to click on choosing a setup type. So I'm going to leave it, let's actually, you know what, let's check custom. I want to see, let's see what all is actually being installed. So we want MySQL server. Okay, what do I need to do? Click on this. Okay, so go all the way down and expand this, and then let's install MySQL server, and let's install MySQL Workbench. Those are the only two things that we need. I don't think we need anything else. So if you guys want to do the full install, please feel free to go ahead and do that, but I'm just going to install these two. Okay, so I'm going to execute this. Okay, so once both of these have finished installing, we're going to click on next, and I'm going to just minimize this. We don't need that. And then we're going to say, so now it's ready to configure the server. So we're going to click on next. So here, if you've seen the config type, we can do server computer, dedicated computer, or just a development computer. So this will take up minimal amount of memory that will be needed for MySQL. So I'm going to click keep that. The port will be 3306, and then that should be it. We'll click on next, and we can leave it as the use strong password encryption for authentication. Okay, so we're going to leave it that. And then here, they want us to set up a password. So just type in a password, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a user. So this will be a user I can log in for any, for all the stuff that I need. So I'm going to just do n squared as my username, all host, and then, yeah, I think dbadmin is fine. And then just type in your password. Okay, it didn't like something. Let's see, I guess it's the password. Okay, passwords do not match. Okay. Alright, and I spelled n squared wrong. Let's correct that. Let's do n squared like that. Cool. So I got my root password, and then I got my password here. And you'll want to remember your root password in case you ever want to come back and add any more roles or accounts. You'll need that. Otherwise, you'll have to uninstall and install it again if you don't remember it. I believe there might be a back way to reset that. I'm not sure. So we'll save the service name as that, and then we will go ahead and apply the configuration. So this might take a little bit, so I'll just kind of fast forward through this, and then we'll go on from there. Alright, so the configuration stuff is done. I'm going to click finish. Okay, configuration is complete, and I'm going to start MySQL Workbench. So let's get that started. And let's see if we can create a table inside of our database. Or we might need to create a database first. Let's see. Okay, so here, I believe, okay, I wonder if I'm going to delete this connection. I'm going to show you guys how we can add a new connection. So let's see, database, connect to database. So the host name will be this, because it's just localhost. The port will be that. And then the username, I'm going to use n squared. I'm going to type in the password. Okay, let's see if that'll work. Cool, that looked like it worked. Okay, I'm going to actually save this connection. So I'm going to just say dev, keep everything the same, n squared, and then password. Let's test the connection. Cool, so it is connected to our local MySQL server. Now it's saved, so you can always access it instead of having to connect to it every time. Alright, so if we see in here, there is nothing. So let's try creating a table here. I wonder if we should create a new database, but it's okay. We'll come back to that after. Let's create a new table. So I'm just going to say create table tutorials. Okay, open, close. And we're just going to have some dummy data columns in here. So we'll have ID as int, not null, auto increment. Then we're going to say tutorial name. We'll do var car. Let's do 100, not null. Tutorial type. Not sure what, I'm just kind of making stuff up here. I like to keep this stuff all capital. You don't have to do that. So you can keep this as, I don't know, 20, not null. And then we're going to add the primary key here. Let's keep that as ID. Did I forget? I forgot a comma. Cool. So I'm going to just highlight this. And if you hover over here, you can execute the selected portion of the script. Okay, so let's see here. If we go under tables, let's refresh this. Okay, so it did not create it. No database selected. Select the default. Okay. I'm going to need to select the default one. So I'm going to come back here. I did not want to do that. I want to edit the connection. Oh, no, it's not letting me. Okay, guys, so before I create a table, let's create a new schema. So I'm going to call this schema tutorials. Okay, and I'm going to keep this as UTF-8. Oh, okay, and I'm going to hit apply. So we should, okay, I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so I don't want to create tables inside of sys. I want to create it inside of tutorials. So now let's see if I can create, you can create a table like this, but I want to create it using SQL. Now I want to set that to the default schema that it connects to. So I'm going to modify this connection, and I'm going to say, let's see if we can just type in tutorials. Okay, let's see if that actually worked. So I'm going to create, we had that code previously. So create table tutorials, and I'm going to highlight this and execute it. Okay, cool. So let's refresh here. Cool, we have our table created. Perfect. So now we can query this table. So we can do select star from tutorials. Okay, this needs to be closed like that. Execute that. And you see here, we can get all of our values, which is awesome. This is actually a lot better and cleaner than XAMPP. I really like this a whole lot better. So now what I'm going to show you is how we can create a connection from our backend language. So I'm going to open VS Code. So what I'm going to do here first is create a new folder in my desktop, and I'm going to say express MySQL. Okay, and I'm going to just right click and do git bash here, and I'm going to open VS Code saying code dot. Okay, so we need to install Express. So first thing we need to do is say npm init-y. All right, so now in our package.json, we have that. We need to install a couple things. So what I'm going to do is install Express. I'm going to install MySQL, which is a library that will help us connect to the database. And now I'm going to install .env, which is a environment file that you can store all of your settings, like your connection settings. So let's get that installed, and then we'll get everything set up. Cool, looks like it got it installed. So now our entry point is index.js. So I'm just gonna do index.js here. I'm gonna say const app equal to require express. Okay, and then I'm gonna say const app equal to express. Okay, so now we can start our server. And what is the function to get that started? Let's see, express server app.listen. Okay, app.listen. And then here, before we do this, I'm going to create a .env file. Okay, and then I'm going to say const.env equal to require.env.config. Cool. So in here, I'm going to say server port, which will be 5000. All right, so let's see. What do we need for our DB settings? So we need a DB port, which is going to be 3306. And the way I'm getting this information is from here. So we'll get the host name. And let's pull up some documentation for the Express MySQL server library package. Express MySQL npm. It's just a MySQL package. So once we install it, these are the connection settings that we need. So let's just put this like that. Okay, so I'm going to say we need DB port, we need the host, and the host is going to be, I'm going to leave it as that. I believe we can try localhost. Let's try that. And then we're going to do DB username equal to mine is n squared, and then DB password, and my password is just coding. Okay, and then DB database. Now, yeah, that should be fine. DB database is equal to tutorials. Okay, and if you have any other database, you can set it here. Okay, so now let's start the server. So we can simply just say process. Wow, I cannot type. Process.env dot server port. Okay, so that's what we called it. Let's have a callback. Server started. Oh, why did I do it in the express function? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I'm going to get my git bash here, and I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to do view terminal, and then I'm going to just say not npm not npm. I'm going to say node index. Okay, let's wait for that. Oh, got it. I know what's taking so long. This should be inside of a console.log. Cool. Server has started. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to create another file called dbservice.js. Okay. And we are going to use this. So we're going to say const MySQL require the package. Okay, and then we're going to say const connection equal to MySQL.create connection. Then we're going to just pass in the properties that it needs. So host, and then we also need to include our .env. So we're going to say .env equal to require .env .config. And actually, I don't even think we need to store this in a variable. We can just do process.env. Okay, and then so we're going to have db underscore host, and then we need the user. Just copy this. db underscore username, and then the password. db underscore password, and then let's see, database, db underscore database. I believe that is it. Let's see. Yes. Host, username, password, port. I believe we need to add the port here. db underscore port. Okay, so now we're going to say connection dot connect. Then we'll do connection dot query. Not query. I think in the connect function we can see if it's connected or not. Yeah. We'll have a callback. And then we'll have an error. So if error, we'll just console.log this. We'll do the same thing they have. Error.stack. If not, we will say connected. And I'm going to use template strings here. Connection as ID. Connection.thread ID. Okay, I'm going to change. It's whatever. I'm just going to change this to template strings just to keep it consistent. Okay, so I need to restart this. And okay, so before I don't need to restart it yet. I need to actually now, when this is running, I need to just connect to the DB. So let's see, we can do it here itself. We can say, I'm going to import the, let's get rid of that. I'm going to require the dbservice.js. So I'm going to just say, even though it's not exporting anything, so I'm just going to do dbservice. Okay. Now, if I start the server, okay, so it did not connect. Okay, got it. So client does not support authentication protocol. So I wanted to show you this error. So if you're having trouble with this error, let's just put this in Google. Actually, I have a solution already written down somewhere because I ran into this in one of my projects. So a little spoiler alert in the project. Okay, I'm going to copy these two commands. Okay, we need to go to MySQL Workbench, go inside here, and then, so we need these two commands. So we need to say alter user n² identified with MySQL native password by, and then here you need to type in your password for the username. So I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to do flush privileges. Okay, so this is just, it's stopping you from connecting because of the authentication protocol. If you want, another way you can change it is, let's go to MySQL Workbench install, or MySQL installer. If you can click on reconfigure, and if you see here the authentication method, you can use a legacy authentication method, but with the commands I just showed you, we don't need to do that. So let's try that again. Cool. We are connected to our DB. So that's all I wanted to show you guys. Now you guys can play with this and have fun, build projects, and this is a really awesome program. It's way better than XAMPP in my opinion. So I hope you guys have fun with this. I hope this provided some value for you guys. If you guys like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And also, this is the first time I'm revealing my face as n² coding. So hello, my name is Neil Patel, and thanks guys for watching. Bye bye.